Samoa, right? That's the one I've been going with recently. I should look this up. Okay, maybe. No. And welcome back to Doctor Who series. Well, that's the question, isn't it? But Doctor Who, Wikipedia calls this Series 4. It's part of the Series 4 production plot. No, wait, shoot, I forgot. It's the Christmas intro. Dang it.
You know, we can just pretend
do it again.
Didn't happen.
Go back. Hang on.
Yep, from the top.
Go back. Go. Hang on. Yeah, go back. It's Merry Christmas. It's the UK Christmas song. Hi, Gaten. That's Doctor Who.
That was
Merry
good.
Christmas, everyone. Man, we thought...
Merry Christmas.
Well, because remember, we thought earlier in the year that Christmas was canceled, but it turns out it's not. It's now. It's today's Christmas.
July.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
6th.
No, what do you... I don't... That's not when Christmas is. I don't know what you're talking about. Or wait, no, it is.
December
the joke.
25th.
I was thinking I might put all these Christmas specials in their own playlist on YouTube, and the joke of the dates is going to get a little confusing. Just if you're binging it. Uh-oh, can I not hide my mouse here? No, I didn't test the thumbnail for this. Okay, well, I guess you get to see my mouse for season 4.
Episode.
Yes, it is.
It's long. I didn't know that.
There's actually a few little facts about this. This is Voyage of the Damned, the 2007 Christmas special. I think I forgot to point out last time that there was a Christmas special, but this is the episode between The Last of the Time Lords and Partners in Crime. It's between season 3 and 4. So hello, all of you Amazon folk who just have learned that there's a whole bunch of Christmas specials you didn't watch. But yes, Caden, as you pointed out, oh my gosh, this is a long one. This is actually, at the time it was broadcast, this was the second longest episode of Doctor Who of all time. Arguably the first. Actually, the 20th anniversary, the 5 Doctors, is longer at an hour and a half. However, that's complicated. You could break it up into 4 parts, and there are versions that do. So if you want to say it's the greatest on a technicality, it could be. This also, I claimed last time I was pretty sure this was the highest viewed episode of Doctor Who ever. Yeah. That is not true. It is the highest rated modern episode of Doctor Who to this day and probably forever.
Wow.
At 13.31 million UK viewers. Actually, that's a point. I think this is UK. I don't know. Wikipedia says UK. This screenshot of a website I found didn't. It's like 0.2 million above the next Doctor. And then everything else is classic. It is the 8th most viewed episode of Doctor Who. In order from least to most viewed, you'd have The Web Planet, presumably the episode, not the story, The Ark in Space Part 2, Destiny of the Daleks Episode 3, and then City of Death Part 2, Destiny of the Daleks Episode 4. Pretty sure Destiny of the Daleks was the second Dalek episode after a big hiatus of Daleks. And then City of Death Part 3 and 4. But City of Death is one from the 70s, where the BBC's biggest rival, ITV, there was a strike, and so they weren't broadcasting anything. It's possible that was literally the only thing on television, but it was definitely one of the only things on television at the very least. So City of Death, it's a good one. It's one of the contenders for best ever episode of Doctor Who. But it's a little biased in the ratings because it might have actually been the only thing on TV.
That is so funny.
It was probably the only
I have high hopes for this one.
Significant thing. This episode, however, is the most watched Doctor Who story of the reboot, as I said, or the revival. However, it was the second highest rated British television broadcast of the entire year 2007. So this is definitely, we're in the peak Doctor Who. I think technically it's a little more globally popular under Matt Smith, but this is, it's big. It's become a thing. I'm sure. I was gonna say we all remember. My audience skews older than me, so I assume we all remember. Although I haven't really checked. I wonder if you bring the average age down on my channel.
I make it hip for the kids.
I do Star Trek and Doctor Who. I think my average age might actually be nearing 50. Of my demographics, it's much older than you would expect.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bump around my age, but then there's a bump around like my parents' age, and that's definitely an unusual demographics for YouTube. But anyway, Voyage of the Damned. Well, actually, Caden, we have to check back because it's been a week. Face of Bow. Yeah. How, you had
oh
to
my
sit on
gosh.
that. Yeah, you've forgotten entirely.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Gosh, I feel like I had something to bring up about that.
I feel like that means we're never gonna see Jack again.
Well, I'm not gonna spoil things.
I feel like because now I don't know. I don't know. That feels like a send off.
I think this was a rumor. I'm pretty sure this is flat out false. It's widely circulated. Citation needed, we'll say. At the very most, it was like the early planning stages, but I think it's false. There's an 11th Doctor episode where he kind of calls up a lot of people he has favors on. And that episode, he happens to be against a group called the Headless Monks. And the myth is that, we'll call it a story, is that Jack was originally planned to appear in that, and he would have been beheaded, and that's how he became a head. Which is, I'd say a lot of people's headcanon. Jack isn't in this episode, so it's kind of hard to explain away his absence. I mean, he would be in Torchwood. Like, he's still doing Doctor Who. He's got seasons 3. Actually, I think 2, 3, and 4 of Torchwood. Most of Torchwood is ahead of him. But I won't say anything about who appears and when. And I can say you do not expect to see Captain Jack, like, after the 15th Doctor. For John Barrowman-related reasons. But that's different. But no, yeah, that's still not... You were just... That one floored you. You didn't even know.
But I think I've the shock value, I've digested it. Face of Bow. Cool.
I remember
I like
was gonna say that wasn't planned at all. They were writing that, and he was like, we got another immortal character, even though he died. Let's just call him the Face of Bow, is kind of the vibe I get of that. Jack was, so all the scenes of Face of Bow, he was just some other guy. That's why he got pregnant, and they talk about Bow kind, which is another weird thing.
About that.
But yeah, it's not the cleanest reveal. But
yeah,
hey, it floored you.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Voyage of the Damned. Well, if you don't know what we're doing today, somehow, welcome. Oh, we also have to introduce ourselves because it's the start of a season, but we can get to that. We are basically going to be doing an audio commentary track live. So, for legal reasons, I can't just stream an episode of Doctor Who, of course. You see the VLC Media Player time bar with a new thumbnail gloriously hiding the length of the video. But yeah, we'll ramble a little bit. People can get set up, but then we're going to do a countdown eventually. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. We'll all hit play and stay synced up. I will play a blurred version of the episode in the background once we get going. But yeah, this is a little bit different for Doctor Who because there are 2 versions for every Doctor Who episode. Come to think about it, this might be one of the ones where there's 3, like we talked about last time.
Yes.
There's the original UK broadcast and the original American broadcast is what we call it. We are watching the American version because that's just what I own. They are identical, except the American version is 4% faster, about 4% faster. And with the 6th longest episode of Doctor Who ever, let me tell you, that's going to make a difference by the end of these 70 minutes. But yeah, most streaming services have the American version. I imagine iPlayer might not, but sometimes it does. It's weird. iPlayer, I don't know. But yeah, that's it. I represent the Doctor Who mega fans. I've seen the show many times. I'm watching Classic Who with my wife again. I've got all the physical media. I'm looking at my Virgin New Adventures behind me. I actually haven't bought a Big Finish in a while, so the count's still probably whatever the hell it was last time. I just need money. And you know what? The Virgin New Adventures are cheaper and take me longer to get through, so that's been pretty good. But Jodie's thing is out. I need to get Jodie's stories. But the bundle's like $300 for all 12.
Oh, gosh.
And that's like 5 years of stories. You can buy them individually, but it's cheaper to do the bundle. And so I'm like, I really, there's a big mental barrier in not buying the bundles, which is a big reason why I have not bought Big Finish in a while. Caden, you were brought on to represent the filthy, disgusting casual.
Absolutely.
So that we can all feel just better about ourselves, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, we've been doing this a while. We've probably been doing this more than a year now. Should I check? I'm going to check.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's been.
It's been a while. Playlists. Oh, actually, I probably need to update the homepage on YouTube, but whatever. Actually, what did you start with? Did you do the new stuff, or did you do the watch-alongs?
No, I think we did watch-alongs, season 1, and then...
Well, Space Babies was a year ago, actually, that I shouldn't have... Where did you join? You were pretty early. Actually, we've been doing this only about a year. March? May? Yeah, March. Been a little over a year. But, you know, you've been asking deep lore questions. We just watched Time Crash. You know, you liked the seller, the outfit.
I did. I think, you know...
Yeah, go on.
With each new season, you know, you asked me this question to define myself, and I think, you know, the more confused I am to define myself, it justifies the more of a Doctor Who fan I'm becoming. Because
well, I don't even know what a Doctor Who fan is at this point, as we've discussed,
and that's why you're a real, true diehard. Me, I still vaguely have a concept and where I lie, but it's confusing, which means I'm learning.
You think you know what Doctor Who is, but you don't. Not really.
Yeah.
You know, but you're getting in there. So have you ever played the Blueprints? Anyone played the Blueprints? Like, Caden thinks he's a new game. It's great. Caden thinks he's got to go to room 46. Caden doesn't realize that, like, you know, that's just 5% of the game. That's what you are. Yeah. You should play it, Blueprints.
I'm in training.
Steam summer sale. Yeah, I recommend
I've heard good things about it from you.
It is. I've basically beaten the game the second time, and I'm doing the stuff that the game doesn't actually reward you for.
And that's a perfect analogy for your Doctor Who fanness as well.
Exactly. I've beaten it. I've watched the show. Then I watched the classics. Then I've done loads of Big Finish. You know, now I'm on the books. But yeah, I've decided that how I define you as a fan depends on how good you do on those quizzes. They'll match the episodes, and you really struggled on the long game. So you are definitely a filthy casual.
Well, I remember the first scene immediately. I knew what was happening there. And then I did know what episode it was. I just mistakenly thought it was a two-parter. That's not my fault. They reused the same set.
We do this game where it's like 5... It's Hoodle. It's like Who, and then the end of Wordle. Where it's like 5 pictures, and you have to guess the episode from the screenshots. And it was Adam calling home. So it was the dog barking at the phone. And Caden struggles with that one every time we do it.
Yeah, but I got Love and Monsters by looking at the ground.
Yep, the pavement, but that one's easy. Anyway, what are we watching? Voyage of the Damned. If you don't know, I like to introduce the episodes, of course, because these intros aren't long enough. And
did we not do that for this one?
Not yet.
Oh, I always thought we used to do that at the end of the episodes.
What do you mean? We've never done that. That was for the new stuff. Yeah, that was because I didn't want to spoil it.
Yeah,
because it was my leakers.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these ones, we do them at the start, and I don't know. This one's like a sort of like a. It's got a message, you know, to tell the world, and trying to make the world a better place. It's Christmas, or trying to make the world a better place.
It's Christmas.
There's a tie there. And you ever been like at the store? Maybe you're going down the road, or you live in Florida. You go to the beach, you know, and you turn the corner at the beach or something, and you just see someone there, and you just go like, damn, because they're so good looking. You know, it's just you're stunned. Like when you learn Jackson Face Bow, it's like damn. Thank you, Alex, for telling me I'm live. And this is an episode about those people, because when you like damn someone, you know, those are the damned, the titular damned, and it's not good to be damned, you know. You think it might be, but that kind of sticks with them. They maybe feel objectified, and I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of Davy Jones' locker and the Flying Dutchman, which is like the ghost pirate ship. You're like, where am I going? It's a ghost pirate ship.
Familiar.
You know, it's like all the people who drown at sea or something, they go to Davy Jones' locker and they fly the Flying Dutchman or whatever. It's on SpongeBob. You've probably seen it. And so I'm getting sidetracked trying to work in a joke about the department store on the Flying Dutchman, but I really don't know how much that one's going. You remember that of SpongeBob? When
there's like a perfume in there and stuff. Yeah, I do.
Anyway, no, when you get damned, there's actually a ship, the Flying Frenchman, because Frenchmen are stereotypically sexy people. And the people who get damned, they basically go on this ship, the Flying Frenchman. And that's what this episode is about, is the Doctor meets these people, and like they're, you know, doing piratey stuff. I get what you would expect of, you know, it's like the Flying Dutchman, but for sexy people. And if you're a crew member of the Flying Dutchman and are offended that I have insinuated that you are not sexy, then perhaps you should have taken better care of yourself, and maybe you wouldn't be on the Flying Dutchman, but the Flying Frenchman.
Wow, it sounds like you can be
we learn
sexy,
about
you
their
just
story.
Need to be objectified first.
Well, maybe you need to get out more. I guess get out of the house. But yeah, that's what it's about, and it's like learning the damage it is to like damn someone, you know.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That sounds like it's gonna be really touching, heartfelt, a real message for Christmas.
Yeah. They also eat babies like in the Goblin one, but it's much darker because they're actually people, really sexy people. But you know.
Yeah. Wow.
And Kylie Minogue's in this one.
I'm gonna be a different man.
Kylie Minogue's in it, you know, who I know from Doctor Who. Did you say Who as well?
I did. You cut out. I actually did not hear
Kylie Minogue.
Okay.
Kylie Minogue who is one of the bigger names of Doctor Who, and I know that. I couldn't tell you what she does because I'm me. But I know she plays Astrid in Voyage of the Damned. Yeah, because someone saw her and went, damn! You know, that's how it works.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
God, what are we doing? Oh, yeah, I also have news. The season 13, checking. Season 13, yes, has just been announced is the next installment in the Blu-ray collection range. That is Tom Baker's second season with Harry and Sarah Jane. It's got Pyramids of Mars, which is worth noting, the Sutekh one. But yeah, that's been announced. And that's probably it for news. Probably not. I could call every fan rumor on Reddit about when the show's coming back news if we want, but
that is true.
Probably not. I finally saw the first report of like someone thinks we might be 5 years till we get a new show. It's like an editor of the Doctor Who magazine, former editor. I'm like, man, now we're suddenly pushing it back to like after we finish our watch along. But no. No. We'll see. All right, should we begin?
Time to voyage. I really don't remember much of this episode. It might come back to me.
The most viewed episode of Doctor Who ever. If you don't remember it like immediately, you're not gonna. The iconography is big. I also read a lot of the trivia trying to get those viewership figures. I think I've forgotten all of it. But hey, we'll see. As I said before, we are going to do a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And on go, everyone's going to hit play. And actually, don't do it, but I sometimes have to wake up my hard drive. So, 2, 1... Okay, my hard drive's awake. It doesn't do that anymore, but it used to freeze at like 3 seconds.
It's learned.
Time. Ooh, and I think I need to fix the audio. Yes, for Kaden and I. There we go.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Hey, it's the ship with the boat. Oh, I muted it. It's the ship with the boat again. The scene with the boat. This is one of those scenes I always find funny because you see it like 4 times when you're watching through because of time crash.
Yeah, it really changes the atmosphere knowing what happens in between Martha leaving and this.
Also, I don't know if you've noticed, but the doctor kept his hand under the console room.
Oh, I didn't
in
see
case
it.
he ever
I
needs
love
a
that.
hand. This has always bothered me, though, especially as a kid. How does it work to crash in the TARDIS? Because the outside hull's only, like, you know, a few feet tall. But the whole ship's in the console room.
That is
Always bothers
precarious.
me. Russell T. Davies ruining my Christmas. Yeah. Well, I guess he is. Well, let's not get into that. Well, check back in December. That was
I'm excited about these sets. This is going to be a pretty episode.
It is a
Maybe. I'm
good
hoping.
set. I think it's the 20s, right? Historians.
I'm going to be honest. No clue.
Hey, it's
Oh, I
Kylo
recognize
Ren.
those things
Angels
in the background.
One of the trivia
I
things
recognize
pointed
them.
out that angels seem to be a bit of a theme because you have Blink. The Doctor's been described as a lonely angel. It was Archangel Network too. There's like a lot of angels for 4 seasons. Well, 3 seasons basically. Balaclava.
Whoa, they got aliens on the Titanic.
He was originally gonna be blue, but they painted him red so he didn't look like the Flinks of Floon. You remember the blue guy?
Links of Flu? I thought, but yeah, I think I do. In the hospital?
Yeah, the blue guy. No,
Uh,
it was in like
Oh.
End of the World. What?
What's going on here?
It's Christmas. This might be
It
the
is Christmas.
most Christmas of Davy's Christmas specials. Remember last time when like everyone was gonna jump off a roof? That one's not very festive. I'm trying to remember.
I got
Oh no, you know what? I like the next Doctor. I've said it. There we go. I like the next Doctor. That's probably the most Christmassy. Yeah.
I've got this peppermint chocolate milk I keep forgetting to make. I should have had that prepared.
If I told
really
you
put me in the
Alex
mood.
and I are gonna make peanut milk, but we're gonna
Peanut
make it
milk?
chocolate milk. Because apparently peanut milk just tastes like peanuts. Like, you
I
know,
believe
almond
that.
milk? It's gonna be like
Yeah.
peanut milk. But we're gonna
Yeah.
make it chocolate peanut milk.
You can milk any nut, as far as I know.
Can. No, it's shockingly easy. It's literally nuts, a water, and blender. Oh, I forgot about that guy over there. The young guy, whose name I'm not going to say.
Okay, they're
back
talking
there.
about Earth like they don't know Earth.
I think
He is a child, but they're the
I think-
Titanic.
he's going to be in War Between the Land and Sea as a different character.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure. But no, they don't. It's like a cruise ship.
What's he doing? This is a bad guy. He's suspicious. Maybe he's good.
Frame. Does the janitor count? It's just crew members. Think about it.
Yeah. Still talking about Earth like they don't know what this thing is.
Well, they know, like the people who plan the trip, but like if you worked on a cruise, are you an expert in every country that it visits? Probably not.
Okay. Good point. Who's this guy?
Max Capricorn. And there's of course the BBC's You've Got to Know It's Television. Oh, maybe not. Even the window has bad resolution. Oh, I learned, right? Apparently composer Murray Gold and one of the other music people on the show play members of the band in this episode.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, there! I think I see him because he was in Devil's Cord too. I think he's the guy in the back with not a lot of hair. What?
I love that.
What is Kylie? I'm gonna look up Kylie Minogue. She's probably one of the people who is probably in something I've seen. Kylie Minogue. Close enough. Kylie Minogue. An Australian singer. Well, that's all I care to know.
Good question. I want to know this.
Good question.
Doe.
Stowe, good name. Well, that's not a great name for Davies. How dare you?
Yeah, this is a good question. I want the answer to this.
It's true. I've got one in my living room.
I can get behind that.
Yeah. I was going to say that sounds a lot, but I'd want to name all my ships too, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just apparently Douglas Adams wrote like a book in a video game with a shockingly similar premise about like a space Titanic 2 cruise liner. And the original working titles for these episodes were the same as like those works by coincidence. Original ideas. And you can tell it's Davies because it's all modern and grimy in the back.
It's my
So
favorite.
we all know back rooms don't progress at all over...
Never.
Well, yeah, these aren't humans, so I guess it's a coincidence that it looks like a back room. I also learned, I don't know when in this episode, but apparently David Tennant's mother died during filming of this episode. And he just came back like the day after to do the shots with Kylie Minogue. So probably this shot. But yeah.
Wow.
Merry Christmas.
This is a real chipper Christmas episode.
Yeah. I mean, they probably filmed it in like July, but you know.
Who would do that?
A Christmas
media in July?
Well, they film it in the summer. Maybe the
I would
fall.
never. I do everything with Christmas in December.
What, you just film it like 3 weeks from broadcast?
That's us. We make sure that our streams always land December for the Christmas episodes.
Well, they always land on Christmas by coincidence.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah. We skip some weeks, but it always just works out. I didn't remember Kylie Minogue having an accent, so when I read she was Australian, that surprised me.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure she does not have an Australian accent in this. Or maybe it's a mix. I don't know. Any Kylie Minogue fans? Is
he
posh
scouting for a
Australian?
companion right now?
Well, is it doctor?
Is that what happens?
I mean, it's David Tennant's doctor. That's basically what he does. He scouted Donna last Christmas. Yeah, it got on the asteroid belt. Actually, I've just realized, too, the Titanic rammed the TARDIS and, like, didn't even notice. Must have been the wind. Actually, come to think of it, it's the shields are down. That's why it's got in. I think that's the first time anything's actually, like, damaged the outside of the TARDIS. A physical thing, certainly.
There was one time it blew up. But we don't talk about that.
When was that? That you've seen?
The TARDIS doors blew open and then
Oh,
we
that's
just
in the
ignored
future.
it forever.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, that never went anywhere, did it?
Nope.
The only one. I do find it kind of funny that it's literally the rich people just laughing at poor people. And that's the joke. It's just it's sort of Russell T Davies cheesiness of like
He popped the champagne with the screwdriver.
well, the vibrations could feasibly
Oh, okay. Yeah.
wiggle the cork
Yeah.
loose. Yeah. A
I
lot of people
reluctantly agree.
complain that the Sonic does a lot of stuff that like sound couldn't do. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it does, but I feel like they're just not even trying to figure it out. Now, could the Sonic do this by emanating the same sound wave every time that like doesn't blow your eardrums? Probably not. But, you know, feasibly, you could probably uncork champagne with a... There's an idea for, like, a science-y YouTube channel, is to do the stuff the sonic screwdriver does in real life. Like, pop a champagne cork without breaking the bottle. Why does your coordinates only have 2 degrees when you're a spaceship? So presumably they could also come at you vertically. Whoa, those are flaming. Oh, I love that painting in the background. Did you see that?
I didn't see it, no.
Look at that on the wall.
That is pretty cool.
You're lagging behind me a tiny bit, I could tell. But I like Mr. Copper. They should have pronounced it
I think he's just some old guy.
I think he was gonna be someone famous. So he might actually be famous.
Wife Mary.
Yeah, Santa's man. That was what you got hung up on? Of the entire spiel. For all I know, Mrs. Claus is actually Mary. I don't actually know her first name. It wasn't the war with Turkey where they eat the people of Turkey. It wasn't his vicious claws.
I can get used to that.
Balaclava. I know his name. I can't say it. Balaclava. See? Oh. I can think it. Russell T Davies just has a way to get alien words that I'll remember forever. Clive Swift. He was in Revelation of the Daleks?
Beef.
I mean, that checks out for the UK, the local delicacy. I bet you could get some nice beef in London. Oh my god, you wouldn't recognize him, but he plays the head of Tranquil Repose, like the ginger guy with the mustache in Revelation of the Daleks, the Sixth Doctor story. Huh. Actually, I think I might have occurred that he oh my gosh, they brought up that tourist cities stink. I think he might be the first guy in classic and modern, ignoring the fact we just saw Peter Davison.
Have we seen this?
You recognize Wilf?
The guy? I do.
You will. We haven't seen him yet, though. Oh. But it's Bernard Cribbins, who's a very well-known actor. But this isn't the last we'll see him. So looking up the guy who plays Mr. Copper... Oh, I googled the character's name. Man, I love it when current events had consequences. I really do. Here we go. Clive Swift. That's not their usual voice newscaster for Doctor Who. That's true. It's just the one episode, nothing happens.
Just David Tennant having a good time on
Wilf's
a ship.
amazing. Also, I didn't talk over it, but I love Astrid's reaction to being on an alien world.
Mm-hmm.
He really doesn't have to go long for companion shopping. I'm not seeing anything. The Oh, that's not aristocats. That's aristocrats. I'm not seeing anything you would know in his filmography page. He's probably just a bit of an archetype in this role, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe like a what's his face? The news here you see the wild. I know his name. Bodie McBoatface got named after him. You know
I don't know.
David Attenborough, that guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bet you didn't know Bodie McBoatface's actual name.
I didn't.
Yeah. I feel like David Attenborough should be in Doctor Who. Actually, I think he is.
I agree with that.
He might be.
I also wouldn't be surprised with that.
In The Big Bang. We'll see. We'll get there. I think he's mentioned. He's like a freak conspiracy theorist who believes in stars. This feels like it might have been a song written for Doctor Who, but it might just be a British song. We've been over this. British and American people will complain how they play the same 5 songs every time, but they're different songs. We just need to share. And I think we've been starting to do that, but because I've heard the UK Christmas song that I poorly sang at the beginning. Every now and then, I'll hear it in like malls and stuff around Christmas. That's right, I go to malls. I was at the mall like a few weeks ago.
Wow.
But yeah, weird brag, weird flex, but okay. Yeah, that's why the 50-year-olds watch me.
It's about to go down.
That sound. I love that sound from Star Trek. The little. I know it's not from Star Trek originally. God, neither of them had shields. I bet you could sonic those meteors away. Well, no, it won't work really in space. No, it won't work because it's a vacuum of space.
Oh, you're right.
There you go, mega fans.
And he's got a gun.
Has the Doctor ever used the sonic screwdriver in the vacuum of space? You know, I was talking about this with Alex because we're watching through the 3rd Doctor's era, right? Russell T Davies gets a lot of flack for like pulling solutions out of his ass, especially finales, right? I think Barry Letts is worse, but he never pulls it for things that matters. He's like randomly, oh yeah, the Doctor can just make things disappear with his mind. It's like, what'd he pull out recently? He just pulls like these random mystical powers. I can't remember the example, but it's never something that matters. Like the Doctor at one point just puts something on the floor and thinks real hard and it disappears. And he's like, yeah, I can do that. You didn't know?
He killed a boy. This is supposed to be Christmas.
He killed your boy?
He killed a little boy in the room, in the ship room.
What's the fatality count of Christmas specials?
Oh, it's probably horrible.
Well, is like Ruby a fatality in Church on Ruby Road? Because they eat her at one point. Is Poppy? But Poppy's not in Christmas. Or at least they're honest.
Chipper. Yeah, I mean...
Do you think they programmed that? Like, once it's too late, I want you to tell
Just let him know.
Just let him know.
Oh, he's not dead.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a hero.
Midshipman, what was his last name? I know his first name. I don't know his last name that he said. Shoutouts to the Titanic clock. Did you see that?
No.
Just a grandfather clock face that just said Titanic in the middle.
What does he got to do with money?
For my family. It's a small part, but it's done well. But did you just
Yeah.
him? You clocked it as a villain.
I guess.
It's done well.
Yeah, I think it is.
That doesn't look good.
Ooh, cool shot.
Comment. Cheers. Could you imagine? I've always felt this was kind of a weird sequence, you know? On the other hand, did they just save the world? If you think about it.
Did they save the world?
Well, that meteor was going to hit the world.
Oh, that's a good point. This is a heroic effort.
It's all...
It's Christmas once again.
Now, you couldn't have sent an empty Titanic. That wouldn't be profitable. So they just sent a normal cruise. Yeah. Yeah. They need heroes. All these people, they're heroes.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. They're proper destroying that set.
They are. They just crushed that woman.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It was so violent.
You know what? Actually, a lot of people do die in this episode. This is probably...
Oh my gosh, they just took another one.
Short of the episodes where, like, fractions of the universe get destroyed, this might be one of the highest body counts, you know?
Oh gosh.
That's okay. All the people we've met are still alive. And hang on, I don't recognize the guy in the middle. That's not a good sign. It's never good when you watch one of those famous episodes, you recognize the cast and go, I don't know you. Uh-oh. Take a guess. Who's probably about to die? When did he wear that suit last time? Oh, it might have been that guy. No, it's that guy. Let's place our bets. Well, to be fair, it looked like a small collision to me.
Could have been bigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still alive.
Although they have 3 small collisions.
True.
You know what? I would have written a line where I'm like, don't worry, this ship is designed so that if one part has a hole, the others will seal so the water doesn't flood it. Like the real Titanic. Because it doesn't matter. It's not water. Uh-oh. I think I've remembered why I don't recognize this guy.
Yep, that'll do it.
Yep. I know the wiki, when I was reading the random facts, there was a thing that pointed out that shot of someone falling down is apparently used a lot in this episode.
I'm
so
gonna keep
an eye out. Banakafalaka. See, this is the kind of show where I remember Banakafalaka more than Rickson. I don't even remember his name. Just heard it. Just realized how short Kylie Minogue is.
Maybe David Tennant's
Oh, wow,
really
it's just
tall.
some corpses.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think he is, though, right? Is he? He might be a bit tall.
I don't think so. I don't know.
He's David Tennant. I could Google that. I could Google both their heights.
He's very much good.
David Tennant.
Oh, it's gonna be the TARDIS.
What?
There it goes.
How did David Tennant... Oh, yeah, because I'm not on Google. I don't care that much. Convenient. The Moo. Oh. Right into London, natural. Actually, is it going to Ireland? Oh, it curved. It knows. You can't land in Ireland. It's illegal.
Avoid that.
We've never been. There were flashback representations of suppressed memories set in Ireland, if you count that. But that's it, with fake Irish people. Didn't we read that, like, Joy was the first Irish actor in the show?
Oh, I don't remember.
I feel like we talked about that. There have been Irish characters, but she might, and that's like, I'm not talking about modern. I'm talking about Doctor Who. We need to go to Ireland. It's, and even like, Ireland's a foreign country, but Northern Ireland is the country the show takes place in. How have we never been? Rip.
Family's well covered.
Yeah. Don't tell anyone, though, because his family needs the money. If Goody's a frame, he can help hold the structural integrity of the ship with his frame.
We need one of those.
Midship. You can just go the middle. Yeah.
He seems to have a bit of a structural fracture.
Well, that's just a fracture, though. It's not like a crack. Just realized my volume's kind of low. Hello? Testing?
Oh, you seem loud to me.
We good?
Maybe I have you turned up.
Because I'm turning it up now. There we go. That looks a bit better.
That seems good.
You're quiet, too.
I can move some things around.
There we go. Oh, no, I was moving things around. Can I click VLC Media Player without it pausing? Because I've lost... Okay, there it is. Phew. I knew this one was long. I forgot how long it was. We still have more than a standard episode left.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, we're about to get the famous scene, though.
Ooh, famous scene.
There it is. It's a great... I think it's the one they usually use for, like, flashbacks where they show the previous doctors. I swear they used it recently.
Handing out a resume.
I mean, by this point, I think a lot of people are kind of tired of that speech. I've seen it as, like, the representation of, I'm done with this. But, you know, where we are in the show, it really is a good one. I remember that being such a cool, big moment. Now let's move on from it. That's my take. I think shows how much we've talked about the height of, you know, the show. I think it's shown how much it's done. The big, that's kind of a lore dump, you could argue. But the audience has followed it. We can trust those, like, 13 million viewers know. It shows how much David Tennant has established himself. I feel like he has 4 Christmas specials, and I keep trying to work out what the 4th is. But no, he has 3. It's because Christopher Eccleston didn't have one. It keeps throwing me off.
Oh. They did wrong.
The Unquiet Dead is like the unofficial first Christmas special, but it came out in like June. So, but you know, it is a Christmas special story. No.
Bana
Cavalata.
Balacaffa.
I thought they were L's, not N's. I've never seen the name spelled out. Banacafalaka. It's like Raxacorp Fallopatorius. You'll just never forget it.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't say the name wrong, by the way. I stumbled it. For those people who would... Oh, actually. I like Balacafalata. He's a highlight. Screw this Kylie Minogue lady. I want Balacafalaka as the next companion.
Mr. and Mrs. Fazzo. This guy's mean.
No, that's just their married name.
Oh,
It's a coincidence. Yeah. It's like, you know, the Star Wars character who's an X-wing pilot that's like named Porkins, and he's fat. That's like the old thing. Hang on, here's a key line. 5,000 credits, right? Let's keep that in our back pocket, okay? 5,000 credits. I hate it when my wife spends 5,000 credits on phone bills. I also like the implication that it's charged like per call. 1 credit to use the phone.
a credit an hour.
Like, that's kind of how it used to work, but this is space. So there you go. 5,000 credits, they'll never pay that off. You're going to have this in your back pocket for like 40 minutes, just to be clear, but...
Oh, gosh.
My point is, we're going to get a credit to pounds conversion rate in a bit. It's not a lot of money. It's really not.
Oh, they're so happy.
They're so happy.
This guy sucks.
You don't like that guy. He's the next companion, I'm afraid to say. Big Finish. Come on, spin-off. Astrid and Balakafalaka.
Wait, he's a robot?
He's a cyborg. Robot is an offensive term. I also like how he doesn't have any covering. It's just his clothes, you know. Just plug him into the wall. Wait, did he...
It's just like me.
Did she recharge him by flipping a switch? How does that work?
It seems to have been maybe that way.
It's legal now.
It is.
Yeah. Marrying
Good
a
for them.
cyborg.
Everyone's so happy, except for that jerk.
No, that jerk. That jerk wouldn't marry a cyborg.
No.
Well, why isn't it kitchen number 6? You gotta eat one of you. I refuse to talk until there's 5 of you. Let's just not ask how many people were on the ship originally. Starboard is where the meteors hit. Right, the ship was going left to right. I'm pretty sure.
I've never learned my starboards.
Watch Star Trek for 900 episodes. The way I know, right, is I've always heard it port and starboard. That's the order, right? And port is left and starboard is right. So it's the same order as left and right. And that's how I remember it.
Oh.
Then you have ventral and dorsal, which you can remember because the dorsal fin is on the top. In fore and aft, I just know. Aft sounds like backwards. Fore sounds like forward. I just know that one. And then you too can critique the writing of ships.
No, don't kill him.
Well, see, they gotta tell them they die and then kill them. Because then the crime, it's like a legal loophole. It's not as bad if you give them notice, you know? Hey, I've just realized I screw up the the arm overlayer on my thumbnail. So there's like a weird finger coming out of the... Whoops. I'll fix that for next stream. I did check the thumbnail art, but... I finally found a program that isn't Photoshop to use. So that's nice.
Moving up in the world.
Because it costs a lot of money. I've moved down. Yes.
Yeah, but it's freer.
Well, I have to pay. It's like a $50 program, but you only pay it once.
See,
what was it called?
That's the way to go.
I cannot remember. I Googled free Photoshop alternatives and found it pretty soon. So it's the $50 one. Starts with an A. Sonic that. Just move it out of the way. It's like Steve Jobs. There's a Sonic for that. Oh man, that was quite a grasp. That's not
He's got to get in there.
That's not pushing someone. That is fully grasping optimally. That man just got damned. You saw that? He's gonna go on the Flying Frenchman.
He did, yeah.
He did, yeah.
Oh, they crushed another one. They're killing everyone.
By the way, I think this means we can say "damn" on the stream now.
Well, we've unlocked it.
Well, I feel like that was like, I know it's damned, like, you know, the souls.
Oh, that's true.
What actually is the definition of damned? Not like sinners? Go to hell?
I don't know.
But it's not like damn. But I always felt like that was like they put a swear in Doctor Who. That's what I thought as a kid.
They have killed like 500 people.
Apparently the Canadian, the CBC, didn't air this episode. So the cliffhanger when like the Titanic rammed to the Titanic just wasn't resolved for Canadian. Well, eventually they aired it. And like a French station broadcast the French version. But yeah, which actually is the authentic experience for Amazon Prime viewers. And Disney Plus viewers, might I remind you, last I checked, Joy to the World still is not listed as part of Doctor Who, the show. Church on Ruby Road is, though, so you won't realize you're missing.
I like that.
Aren't we all time kings from Galaby? God, he's young. Neither of us could think of a joke.
I like all the fake Earth
facts. I remember when he was so old at 903. Now I hear 903 and I think he's so young. Even for this era, I feel like the 11th Doctor is like 911. Or I guess 1100. I don't remember. I'm a bad Doctor Who. That sounds fun. Can we have a space shuffle?
I would love a space shuffle. Fancy iPhone or something.
I think it's a dance. Or like maybe we swap the moon with like Titan. That'd be fun. I like the moon, but Titan might be fun for a bit.
Titan's cool.
Yeah. You want a massive sidetrack? I learned recently. I like how I didn't wait for the response. But one of the Galilean moons, I think it's Callisto, in like the medieval Renaissance. It was old. I clearly don't know enough about this fact. But there was like discrepancies in its orbit, like when it would come in and out of the sun. Is sometimes it would be like, I think 11 hours or something, maybe 11 minutes like early, then it'd be that much time late, right? And the only possible explanation for this was that the speed of light was not infinite. And there was this, I think, monk, because, you know, they were all monks back in the day. A monk astronomer was attempted to calculate the speed of light based off these observations and was like incredibly close for a pendulum clock and a shitty telescope.
Yeah.
So like that was just the theory of relativity kind of first clue right there in the Middle Ages. And that it kind of just got buried, I guess, not a lot of tension, but that was technically the first discovery that the speed of light was not infinite. And we knew what it was. I was like, wow. Because the only explanation was like when it's coming towards us and away from us. Or I think it was when it was near or far, something like that. The light would take longer to get here, so it looked like the orbit was changing speed. Oh man, he didn't like that.
Die? Fact. Oh my god!
Oh look, he's fallen down though. He got that effect.
They killed him.
I'll just push him. Use the Sonic.
They killed him. I like that guy. But they're leaving the other guy alive. The jerk.
Man, you're not liking this one so far.
Life's not fair. They're killing everyone. This is supposed to be Christmas.
Oh, I just realized that wasn't the finger on the thumb. It was my mouse was cropped lined up exactly with the finger. Because I was going to hide my mouse behind the finger. Maybe they'll kill him
I love
now.
this little set piece.
This one? I've never thought much about it.
Area. I don't know. It's disgusting and grimy. It's classic. Love it.
They're going a weird way. We've talked over a lot of the dialogue, talking about Calypso or something. But it does feel a bit like that big fan room from the end of the world, you know? That was like, the switch to turn off the fan is on the other side of this fan, you know? I guess it's a bit gamey. But, like, the ship probably isn't normally like this.
Yeah.
So, you know. But then again, is that a walkway? So it's really nice. I don't know if I'd be that confident, man. Like, you crawled over it. If this was a normal episode, we'd be in the final sequence.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I've just realized I can't think of, like, a flying Doctor Who villain. Or, like,
Flying
with
Doctor
wings
Who
or stuff. I guess the Daleks fly.
What about the things that like eat broken timelines or paradoxes or something?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's also the Krillitane. Yeah, they're like bat people from the school reunion. Which is still probably my favorite title. That's a good title. I really like I don't know if it's the 10th Doctor's theme, but like da da da. I'll point it out, but it's a good piece of music.
Don't get spiky with me. That's got to be offensive.
Wow, that I just talked that too. That's the opposite of being damned. He's going to Davy Jones' locker. I have this problem a lot of I call it casual alien racism. Is that sci-fis are like often just extremely racist to aliens, but in a way they don't realize they're being extremely racist. My favorite is to take insults that like Bones makes to Spock in the original Star Trek and just make them about like an actual ethnicity, and it sounds horrific. You're like, yeah. He's like, you green-blooded, pointy-eared freak. I'm like, dude, that is like, that's pretty serious. There's a Doctor Who, you know, this isn't even why I made the comment.
I was gonna say,
like, I knew they could fly, but I wasn't thinking about it. It always bothered me as a kid, though, that they don't flap their wings.
Yeah, they just float.
It looks wrong, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe that was the point, but actually it was probably a budget thing.
It doesn't look a little...
Yeah. Well, come to think of it, actually...
It was made a while ago.
They had to have a good budget for this. It's like a 75-minute special.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, come to think of it, wasn't it 75 minutes on my timeline, too? Oh, I like this bit.
Oh.
Balaclava like a cyborg. I hope one day I become a cyborg, and I would quote that all the time. Don't ask me why, but that's a line that's stuck with me. I'd imagine, oh my gosh, yeah, this episode is 74 minutes for me.
I could. Like, a fourth of my body is robotic parts at this point.
That might be.
I'm plugged in right now.
It's outside your body, though. You're plugged in.
Part of it.
Look at Balaclava's chest. That's not
my pump can't do that, though.
This might be the British version now, I'm wondering. Because this is 74 minutes. We'll have to listen to the music closely. But no, I'm the kind of person who would, like... I'd be like, very much a dad, humor-wise. So imagine I'm walking with, like, a little kid, and anytime something comes up, I'd be like, Nathan, stop! Nathan, cyborg! And I'd rip open like my sweatshirt and stuff for every problem. I want to be a cyborg. Don't ask me why it's always stuck with me as a kid. But I think about Balakafalaka, stop! Balakafalaka, cyborg! A lot.
He's dead.
I love him. He's dead. That's my husband! Don't ask about that too much.
That's...
What? You have a problem with cyborg caravans?
not a problem at all. No thoughts over here.
Wow, it sounds like you have a problem.
He's still alive.
Gosh. I like it in the background, though. That's very much, he's like, it's dead. I can't use it. Never set your passwords to 1. Just don't. Just don't. He's stuck there now.
Oh, you gotta learn.
You can't kill survivors. If you kill them, they're not survivors. Doesn't sound like much information. I'd like to file a complaint on one of the answers. Why does it say information? Does it... can you not determine that? Could you imagine if you Googled something and it Googles everything said information so you knew? I don't know why.
Dang,
they're falling again. This is way less dark than the last one. You need to rewatch Christmas Invasion.
Yeah, but didn't they like all live by the end?
Yeah, but it's not cheery to watch it. You kicked that down.
He did. He's angry doctor.
It was like a badass scene, but it's kind of silly how much it like flopped down. It looks like a lightsaber. Right?
It does.
Don't give that to him. Give it to Mr. Copper.
Yeah, that guy.
Wait, what did you say Mr. Copper was doing?
Being ready.
He's opening. Yeah, he's ready. He's got to open the case. Every Christmas. Well, actually, it's a new tradition.
Every year.
No, it's a new tradition. That's the point. He was like, my Christmases are always like this. That was literally the first. The only other Christmas we've seen was the Feast of Stephen, which I think is pretty chill. So does this mean he just always has unseen adventures on Christmas?
See, she sounds very willing, but she's not the companion, so she's gonna die.
What makes you say that? She's obviously the companion. Just like, what was her face from Robot Revolution? Where, like, the doctor was with her for 6 months, you know?
Yeah. And then died.
This is what that used to look like. I don't know. I assume you know the next companion.
I think it's Donna.
You know how many more seasons we got? A Tenant? How many more
Of
companions?
Tenant?
Yeah.
Oh, how many more companions?
Yeah.
I don't even know if... Nah, because Rory and Amy are Matt Smith.
No, they're different people.
Right.
Yeah.
No, thanks for the reminder.
Matt Smith
Matt
Smith is
three
the
different
doctor.
people.
Yeah.
I think maybe just one. Maybe just Donna. Whoa. I stopped paying attention for 1 second.
Was that a firework? They literally played the firework noise.
What did I miss in...
She grabbed the medical box and stood on it, and then she kissed David Tennant.
God.
I saw there was a thing. Davey said like an interview, whatever, where he said one of his goals with the new season was to avoid like masculine sci-fis because sci-fi can often be very masculine. I didn't read the full interview, I'll be honest. but it felt like a take from 20 years ago, and a lot of the comments were like, honestly, David Tennant's era is like the most masculine sci-fi. I get what he means. I think 15th Doctor has felt like the most inclusive of any of the eras.
Yeah.
Especially just in like the incidental casting and the extras. But I'm like, Star Trek is also inclusive. I think Star Wars can be quite good now, but maybe it's like generic sci-fis or more. Whatever. Just stop asking questions. Also, I've just noticed how terrible the ear sculpt is on the angels.
Oh, I gotta look.
Like in universe wise. Wait, only that one has ears. No. Yeah, that's just straight up not true, and I've always hated this logic. In what way is a stowaway not a survivor? Right?
Well, because he's not.
But he survived. He was on there for the accident and survived. Quite frankly, I could argue that, like, I am a survivor of this incident. I didn't die during it.
That is a rough ear.
I survived Notre Dame burning down. That is fact. Therefore, they need to kill everyone. In fact, why not argue they are survivors? Cyborgs are getting rights, don't you know?
Maybe they'll take themselves out.
Yeah, I know they're robot. I chastised you for calling him a robot. I just insinuated. I know. I'm sorry. They use SOS? Yeah, TARDIS translation circuit. Come to think of it, is the TARDIS just translating, like, everything in London now? I've never really thought about how it's selective in Modern Who. Huh. Why do you need... Oh, yeah, I guess they deorbit. Oh, are we going by, like, 1960s Star Trek rules of orbit? Where you've parked in the atmosphere, and so you're just falling?
Who's gonna be the big bad guy? Christmas
What if
special,
it's just the rocks?
Just the rocks?
Did you say it's a Dalek? Well, the
No, it's a Christmas special. Oh, just the rock. I thought you said it was just gonna be a pile of rocks.
It's just a pile of
Tech
rocks.
31.
I'd make an episode where the villain was a pile of rocks.
I'd watch it.
What I need is an actual writer that I can mess up the scripts for. I need to Douglas Adams, who does crazy stuff like that. That's what I need.
It's probably just the guy with a big mustache.
Who?
I don't know, the weird Max guy who...
He had a, like,
runs the
pencil mustache.
Yeah.
He had one of the smallest possible forms of mustache.
Who's it gonna be?
Let's look at how tiny this mustache
It's the Mars
is.
rover.
That's not the... What do you think a Mars rover looks like? Look at that tiny mustache.
It's him.
It's a tiny mustache.
It is.
Apparently, Max Capricorn was supposed to just be like a normal business person. I'm sorry for insinuating cyborgs aren't normal, but that just was deemed anticlimactic. I think that's cyborg.
Doctor.
Man, they're getting rights now,
cool.
Doctor. That's the equivalent of like calling someone gay in 2005. But I would also use that slogan if I was a cyborg head. But I'd be allowed to because I'd be a cyborg head. You know? It's basically discount Davros.
No, look at him. His ride's cool.
Yeah. Are you implying Davros's ride is uncool?
Well, it's been a while.
You know, there
I'd have to
are a
look at it.
lot of disabled villains in this era. Come to think
That
of
is
it.
true.
I do find it hilarious, though, how the Cyberman guy actually, like, would have needed a wheelchair because he broke his leg or whatever. We talked about
Yeah.
that. Hello,
Yeah, what's the
Jasper
guy got
Marsh.
against Earth?
Thank you for joining. What'd you say?
What's this guy got against Earth?
Probably nothing. What do you mean?
I don't know. He's crashing the ship.
Well, here, he's explaining it. He didn't get ahead in business.
Oh.
Gosh, brutal.
Doctor's uncool.
He's all about insulting people physically. He's probably damned a lot of people. Just saying. Yeah, here we go. He looks so happy.
Yeah, he's like, you're getting it.
He does a great job, whoever plays Max.
I like him.
Ah, there we go. I was wondering, and then they find Max Capricorn just in the ruins. Oh god, I've just remembered this line. I love his face. I love him. 10 out of 10. Oh my, look at that! We need more of this guy.
Love him.
God, we were watching an episode too where I was like, I want this guy to play every villain. Like ever. Don't ask why I haven't done that
Why?
before. I think it's because he was in the box, so like he didn't know.
What's the doctor gonna pull out to solve this?
Guess. I kind of want to tell
Yes,
you, but I kind of want your
screwdriver.
reaction. That's true. He could. I mean, that's like harsh, but could he Sonic? Wait, did he try and Sonic the Angels at any point?
I don't. Well, he fixed one with it. I think.
No, like
Or he
they
killed
could
one
be.
with it, actually. Yeah.
They could be deadlock sealed. But it'd be weird if he didn't try.
A forklift.
A forklift. That's what he pulls out. Fun fact, Kylie Minogue is this way over the top scene plays. That's what I want for Christmas. Imagine watching this like half drunk at December 25th.
I'd be having a great time.
Just...
He's not amused.
You know what? I've always remembered this as a silly scene. Especially considering that Kylie Minogue was not certified to drive a forklift, so they had to have someone else drive it. Which is the hilarious part. Like, it's just a few feet. Look at that. Surely Kylie Minogue could drive it. God, what happened to the quality? You seeing this?
It
It's
got
like
dramatic.
420p. It's all
Yeah.
blurry.
There's a bunch of grain.
It's like time crash. What? Oh, it's probably because it's not a slow-mo camera. I bet you could have put something
She
on
could
it.
hop out of that.
You could have put something on the guys. You know, it's not. I agree. It's not the best. In fact,
It's a
why
little
not
funny.
just lift him up, and then you have all the time in the world. You know, here's again another shot.
Colin. Okay, but what is this?
Yeah. Well, he's dead now.
I suppose.
Oh, also the doctor's. Okay, you're ready for the part that people complain about. Technically, you could say the doctor's free now to do whatever he needs to do, right? But you got those angels. Oh, here's the piece of music, by the way. You got the angels there, right?
Mm-hmm.
How you resolve that? How would you, Caden, as a writer, Russell the T. Davies? Oh, that rock hit the guy in the head. You see that? A big rock fell on the business guy. It's like a huge piece of concrete just bounced off his head. Probably died.
Well, the Angels looked like they kind of shut down there a second ago because the guy in charge died.
Oh, no, they didn't.
Oh, cool guy explosion, of course.
You ready to see what inspired Stephen Moffat making all the Christians angry with Joy to the World?
So ready.
I read, apparently the Catholics didn't like this bit.
I'm excited.
Neither did the sole survivor of the Titanic. Well, sole remaining survivor of the Titanic.
Okay.
So between this and the last episode, we've kind of started a trend of the Doctor
I think we might have.
Becoming Space Jesus. I think right here is the moment where I think we start down the path of him getting a bit too in-universe big. Also, I like the idea that he's going to faceplant into the wood. There you go, he was taller. Were they directly below the bridge? I've never even thought of that.
They punched through
that
like
makes
12
sense,
floors.
right? The next highest authority. I guess that's the Doctor. Somehow. The stowaway. Alonzo, I can say his name.
Alonzo.
I don't think I actually noticed the Doctor said Alonzo a lot until this episode, and then I went back. If you notice that, he's got a catchphrase.
No.
But now he said it doesn't sound as good, actually, as I remember. Poor Alonzo. He just wanted to drive the boat, man. God, I love his faces.
Here? What's he doing?
Can't wait to see him in Land and Sea. I've never paid attention to Alonzo in this scene. I want you to scream as weird as possible.
He's scared.
Right, it's like 70% water. I bet just landed in the ocean, you know?
This is true. It does have a few holes in it.
I do like this, though. It's just, it doesn't even, it's like, yeah, of course. Shoutouts to just being a phone line, you know? I love that it's a landline, too. Man, Buckingham Palace, 1, looks worse than I remembered, and 2, looks a lot like the White House, actually.
Is that the Queen?
Yeah. They were hoping to get Prince Charles as a cameo. God, I love Wilf. Who pulled an all-nighter, I guess.
Yeah, he's keeping watch. Whoa, how'd he do that?
He turned them on. There was a line about restarting them. I don't remember.
No.
There was a line. Terrorism. Apparently, right, I learned the original ending was the ship was going to cut Buckingham Palace too, and the Queen would do a comedy fist shake, like, curse you, Doctor!
I love that.
It read as so Russell T. Davies camp, you know? But he thought that'd be a bit too bleak, I think, was the reason for Christmas.
Lonzo's still got a gunshot wound. He's probably
He's fine. It's the
figured
future.
out.
They live in the future.
Hey, let that mean guy live.
You don't like 0 out of 10? Worst Christmas?
0 out of 10. Ruining my Christmas.
See, he's fine. I like the music, too. Oh, poor Max.
Oh,
Naturally.
that's got to be a hazard.
I kind of want to see the original Russell T. Davies scripts where no one filters him, but I also know that's what we've been getting with 15.
Yeah.
But you know, like the energy, I think I'm on board with when I hear about them. She's dead, though.
Whoa.
So
Yeah, but she's
what?
burned to a crisp.
Wow. Well, the master was burned to a crisp, and he's fine.
Oh, don't remind me.
I should show you that scene at some point in the way they describe just how utterly he's destroyed at the atomic level.
The monk is about to spend so he can just chicken.
Well, you don't seem happy about this.
I was trying to follow it.
Oh, well, like, they were in danger, so they backed her up, I guess, you know. You gotta override the safety and link up the surface suspension. I don't know, we could have a transparent companion.
Yeah,
It's
better than
nice,
just a
too, that,
current day
like,
human.
the transparency treats her like she's 2D and not a 3D object. So, like, her clothes and skin and muscles and skeleton and organs aren't also, like, semi-transparent.
Oh.
It's a pet peeve, and obviously I know why they do it, but it always bothers me, you know?
I never thought about that.
Yeah. It took a long time till it clocked with me. You can Sonic that.
He could just go get his TARDIS and then catch her when she falls.
Yeah, that's a bit of a no-no.
Oh,
You
never
know,
mind.
crossing your timelines. And I think he watched her fall, too. So, like, it'd be
Oh, shouldn't have looked over the edge, you know?
He really shouldn't. He needs to, like, knock himself out anytime anything bad happens.
He's kissing her again.
I've
Probably
always felt like this was
painting's still there.
horrific, you know? Space window. That rotates a bit easy for my taste. Like, that's space.
Oxygen field.
Oh, yeah, she feels like she's fallen, too. Have fun being alone forever is some dust. Say hi to
Meet up with
Joy.
later.
Yeah, so we made the same joke. Say hi to Joy. Did Moffat write this? That's a very, like, they died but didn't Moffat ending.
Yeah.
But this is a Davies script. You can tell by the campy notes. I was going to ask what a campy Moffat is, but that's just his parody scripts. That's fast. I mean, would they, you know? He's just a historian.
I don't know. I believe it.
It could. It's feasible.
Change
I'd
of
like
heart.
to be your companion. I've decided I'm gonna be Jesus now. I took a cruise anyway.
Oh, that was that guy.
Yeah. The jerk. Stab. He's got great reception. I like how it's also a flip phone. I've never really thought about that. Man. It's almost like this regeneration's been building up to an arc. If there is an arc, I don't think it'll blindside everyone. That'd be weird. Any thoughts about how everyone's like just a human but not?
I was thinking about that earlier in the episode.
It always bothers me.
And then something distracted me.
It always bothers me. And like, there's a history of it in the show, but that doesn't make it right to me, you know?
Yeah. Oh, it's festive and Christmas.
He'll pass his citizenship test.
This guy's gonna love Earth.
You could quote that. Well. Well, yeah, they are at war. Remember, the prime minister just assassinated the American president.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, 5,000 credits. Remember?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember.
Did they say the line? I just missed it. They're about to.
No, they're about to.
Ears are open.
Wow. Bet you would have let Astrid.
Oh, just because he's an old man.
He's young. Not even 4 figures yet. Shruti Gadwa is older than, like, Jesus. They point that out at the show when it happens, and it's like oh. 1 million. Is 5 million, 50 million credits, right? So a credit is a 50th of a pound, right? 50 million and 56. Let's call it a 50th. 1, 2, 3. So that's like 100 pounds that they spent on the phone bill. Have I done that right?
Well, so he has $1 million, is what he's saying?
£1 million pounds.
Yeah, £1 million.
So that's in the ballpark of $1 million. I mean, at that rate, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but $1 million. let me be clear. Lot of money.
That's like yeah, £1 million pounds.
And
yeah,
he doesn't understand how money works.
No, look, he's gonna get a house.
Oh,
can you imagine this guy going to the realtor? It's like, I want a house with a door and a garden. It's like, dude, this is London. You're gonna need more than £1 million. No. I would love to be this guy's realtor. Look at him. He's so happy. Where's he going? Just into the Thames. Man found dead with £1 million in a field by the Thames. In fact, there's a field by the Thames. It's London. Thames is in like the middle. Maybe it's a park. And then the Disney logo. Tinkerbell does it, and it's like, now on Disney XP? What do they call it? What's the, like, teenage...
XD.
That was it, yeah.
I'm hip. I'm cool.
And look, I love when they brush the snow away in a square.
Oh, yeah.
I always love when they disturb the ground. There we go. Oh, yeah, and Verity Lambert passed away. The original producer of Doctor... What was that guitar riff? Man, what the heck?
Oh.
Well, no, I'm not spoiling. I'm not spoiling any of that.
That's
junk.
intense.
You don't want a season 4 of Doctor Who spoiled. Yeah, well, what'd you think?
That was pretty good. It's
That's
pretty
good.
sad. Pretty
Yeah, it's
downer
not...
for Christmas. That's how it goes.
I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
it picked itself up at the end.
I don't think it's quite Christmas vibe. Honestly, I think Church on Ruby Road is probably his most Christmassy Christmas.
Yeah.
There's Joy to the World, but that's a Moffat Christmas story. Moffat, I think, did the Christmas better. They were like actually Christmas until the very end. But Davies is much more like Die Hard kind of Christmas. It's a good story on Christmas.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good one. I don't think I think of it when I think of my favorite specials, but they're all mid, solid. Mid has like negative connotation, but they're solid. It's got a lot of good scenes. It's a good one. It would not. I don't think it would have ruined Christmas in 2007. Certainly better than this year's Christmas special.
Mm.
Yeah, the one that is not gonna happen.
We're counting down the days.
Maybe they might. It's just, where would it go? That's the thing. Where would it go?
Yeah.
I also, Russell T Davies did an interview where he said he has no idea who like Rose Tyler, Billy Piper's character is, which could be Davies just being Davies. I feel is more an admission of like, you know, he hasn't settled on a story. Well, a lot of people freak out, but it's not uncommon in writing to like throw something out there that you don't know the solution to, but you know you could do a bunch of cool stuff with.
Yeah.
So like,
do we
it's not
trust
inherently
Davies to
bad.
do that? Do we trust to work on that sort of
Not
function?
inherently, but I believe he could. Like, Billy Piper could be a good doctor, as well. But I don't know. I like the fact that he doesn't know kind of suggests that if he was writing a Christmas special, he should probably have a pretty gosh darn good idea by this point, you know? So that's the reason I bring it up. It'd be a really quick turnaround.
Maybe it'll take place in between Shooting at was Regeneration and Billy Piper, just like this season.
I half expect a world where like we play the Regeneration and then they go from Billy Piper to someone else. It's like, oh, well, it's been like 20 years now. That was an exaggeration, but no, I don't like to get too much into the speculations because that's all the Reddit is. And I mean, it could be interesting to have a discussion about, but it's all speculation. And I don't know. War Between. We still have any idea for doing War Between? That doesn't have a release date.
Yeah, I still don't know. I'll still be very up in the air probably until there's trailers and it's way closer to the release date.
I would even see like watching the first one then decide. But if it looks like it's gonna be a while until there's another Doctor Who, just because they have to make it, and that's gonna take like 2 years. We'll probably hear about it, and it'll be like 2 to 3 years out. So I could see doing War Between for that reason. But like there is a chance that we actually finish the watch-alongs. That's like the far out there scenario. But that'd probably be like another revival levels of out there. But I don't know. Then I feel like we've got to do something. We can't just not have Doctor Who.
Yeah, that'll be unusual.
There's always the classics.
Big sell. We've got time. Figure something out.
I feel like we'll do the movie, right? I feel we'll do the movie. It's a movie. It's like that'll be fun. And then that's just the Eighth Doctor done. Then I could possibly see us doing some of the later eras. Maybe we just go backwards. Maybe we start at 7, then we do 6. Or I could see sort of a highlights. We do the big stories or ones that I think are going to be fast-paced enough that they're not bad. But realistically, I don't, unless like it goes really well with Classic Who. Maybe we talk about loads. I don't know. I don't see us doing all of Classic Who. Because we'd have to do episodes like Reign of Terror, which is like a 6-8 part. Nothing happens. And like I'm watching through with my wife, I've mentioned, and especially some of those 60 ones. And heck, even some Pertwee is like, it's slow and nothing happens. And I'm like, we can't. And especially the problem with those long, like more than 4-part classic episodes is we might be spending like 3 or 4 weeks on a story that we just don't want to be watching. So I don't see a world where we do all. I mean, I guess there's a world where Classic Who's super successful and we've run out of other episodes. But I kind of feel like if we finish this, I feel like we got to go do something else almost. Like we have to watch something. I've thought, I don't drink, but I've thought a funny one. It'd be great to do one where like a mildly drunken, we just binge the entirety of Sailor Moon. Because I feel like sleep deprived and all that. Forever. But I feel like you gotta binge it because it gets all weird and you just kind of gotta get to a point where you're just dazed accepting
Is there
and fed
not?
up of its refusal to commit to a genre. Like, I remember when they pulled the Techno Wizard out in season 2. I'm like, yeah, screw it. They just have a Techno Wizard. Why not? What
I
were
thought there
you
was a
gonna say?
bunch of Sailor Moon.
They redo it a lot. But Alex and I are watching the original. Well,
Oh, yeah,
I
I
don't
just
know.
don't know
I
how
don't know
long
the
it is. In my
history.
head, there were so like
Well,
hours and
it's
hours.
like 5 seasons of. But there's like 100 something episodes, but they're short episodes.
Mhm.
They might even be like 15 minutes. Wait, how long? You know, I
Oh
can
yeah,
do
I'm
this.
looking
How long is Sailor
here.
Moon original?
Season 1, 46 episodes, 43,
40.
38, 39,
There are
34.
200 episodes. So how long is an episode? Let's just say it's like 15 minutes. Like 200 times 15 divided by 60.
1 hour.
50
I can make that
hours or something. So like
Hmm.
it's conceivable that you could watch it in a really short time span. That was the point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I don't know what other. You haven't seemed too interested in Star Trek. I've stopped
yeah.
my Star Trek watch-alongs, but like I'd probably start it up again if you did it. But
I never felt the draw, even when we used to kind of sort of do it as a family.
oh yeah, you never did. But you would have been so young. I was super
wasn't
young
really
when we
young, yeah.
watched it. Like were you even born for like all of that? I don't know.
I was around for
It was
parts.
young. Wow, you have a show? I don't know. Like I do sci-fi, but this is a 5 year from now problem. Realistically, like this is a far out there problem. But I feel like we want to do because this is also just how we hang out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That's so funny.
It is.
Yeah,
It's like
5 years from now,
5 year.
something might come out.
Maybe we're closer to 4. But like I imagine like the year gap, even if they're making Doctor Who, it's like we're not doing anything.
Yeah.
What would come out? I don't even know.
I
Because
don't know.
I feel like it kind of have to be something we watch. Because I don't like the watch-alongs when I haven't seen it. I lose stuff. It's not as good. I did some of those for Picard, Star Trek Picard, because I didn't care about Star Trek Picard, but I wanted to finish it. We could do something. The Star Wars Holiday Special. Maybe we just do random. We just do random bad movies.
Stuff.
I saw one I've been meaning. What was it? I can't remember the name. It's this movie where this guy bought a like Asian kung fu movie, you know, from like when those were big. And by bought it, I mean he actually purchased the rights for it because it was extremely cheap. And then
Yeah.
he redubbed the movie and did I think some extra scenes, and seems like just a hilarious concept. It's no, I know what we do. We do the redubbing of something. That's what we'd go into.
Oh yeah.
I've talked about that. Of like,
yeah, I remember
like
that.
the Foley Ship of the Ring project. You can Google that if you
Yeah.
want. That's what we'll do. It's like fully of like Harry Potter or like Star Wars or something big. But no, he did that because that's a very similar to that project. I think the clip I saw that sold me on it was like someone drops a baby or whatever. They're like riding a bicycle and they fall with the baby, and it's a baby doll, and it like rolls down the hill, and they play like a crying baby sequence, but it just like loops the sequence of the baby rolling down the hill for like a minute. And it's just
gosh.
it's just like the hilarious thing of it just doesn't stop, and it's literally just a baby doll. It's like a plastic fake like baby doll. But I'm like, I feel like I need to buy that because that sounds like my sort of let's just redub a movie and release
Yeah.
that, and that sounds great. But yeah, that's what we'll do because you might even be here. Like we could just go to physically and
Yeah, hopefully.
like record some hot garbage version of Harry Potter that is like actually good. That's the sentence. Hot garbage.
Yeah, we've got
version
5
of
years
Harry
to make
Potter.
this blueprint.
I think I've told Alex because doing that plan where the idea is we'd get like a Harry Potter movie and we'd remove all the audio and do it ourselves. Is I've told Alex I've had this thought that for Dumbledore, because of course as we all know Dumbledore was gay the whole time, from like J.K. Rowling, all the ramblings. J.K. Rowling would definitely be a big part of, and not in a good. We'd like make fun of her or whatever. I would have our version of Dumbledore bring up the fact that he's gay constantly, like at every
All the time.
reasonable opportunity, and every
Stereotypically
time,
gay voice.
every time one of the characters around him will go, "Oh, I didn't know he was gay." Every time.
Yeah.
And then like when he dies or something, I think he's got a funeral scene.
I forgot about
Like
that.
they'd have some where it's like it turns out he was gay. It's like, no, we'll never know why he chose not to reveal this to his closest friends and family.
You
I
hear
think
the whole crowd start mumbling
yeah.
to each other.
I
Like,
did,
"Who's
oh,
gay?
like,
Who's gay?
everyone.
Who's
We'd
gay?
layer it like 100. Every voice we'd go through and layer. Oh, I didn't know. It's just going like a ramble. And you meet his brother at one point. I don't think he's a big part of his movies. And like he doesn't like his brother in the books. But in the movies, I'd be upset because he's the only one who like actually is aware of this. He's like, no, everyone pretends like they don't know. They have to know. It's like, oh, I didn't know he was gay. He's like, you did. You saw the funeral scene. It's like, that's the kind of humor I want, is that it wouldn't be like every scene he's in, but any time it could come up, it does.
Yeah.
And everyone is always super respectful of it. Like, I'd love a scene where Voldemort gets to do it. Everyone's totally respectful. It's never a dish. It's just like, oh, I didn't know he was gay. It's that level of energy. I'm like, that's what I want. That's what I want for.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and let's just do that. There's no Doctor Who's done. No more Doctor Who. Tomorrow we'll join
cancel
us for Harry Potter and the whatever. Yep.
That reminds me, sharp steer, but next 2 weeks.
Oh,
no
yes.
Who. I won't be available.
No Doctor Who. I think I've got that in my calendar. But we will be back on the 27th, 3 weeks from now, presumably. I'll post something if we can. And we'll just continue season 4. And assuming we don't skip any weeks, we do all the 2-parters the same day, that will take us through September. It's the last week of September. We'll finish season 4 and then get into those specials. So
I definitely probably will miss a few because I'm going to drive across the country in the middle of that somewhere.
Probably. That's like 2 months. We tend to miss one here and there.
Yeah.
But, you know, so like realistically, probably sometime in October, we're talking about finishing this season. So I guess if you wanted to join us after this season specifically, and you have stayed this long, come back at the start of October, and we'll get into the David Tennant specials, as they're called. Is that everything then? I think so.
Yeah, it might be.
Man, all right then. I will say thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.